My name is Matthew Sun. I am from San Francisco, California. I did my undergraduate studies at Hawaii Pacific University. I am an MAS student. I am studying international security with a China focus.
Hi, my name is Laura Fornadel. I was born in Stony Brook, New York, but I grew up in Charlottesville, Virginia, and attended the University of Georgia for my undergrad. And I did a dual degree in history and political science. And I'm a second-year MPIA student, graduating in June. And my focus is international politics and Southeast Asia. So Matt, what did you do before coming to IRPS?
I'm a foreign area officer for the U.S. Army. I'm a China-focused foreign area officer. So before I came here, I was studying language at the Defense Language Institute. And following here, I will be going to Beijing, China.
What do you do for fun in San Diego?
There are two main things that I do. First of all, I'm a parent, so I spend a lot of time with my kids. San Diego is a great place to have family. The weather's beautiful. There's two zoos. There's Sea Life Park. There's Legoland. There's great beaches, great parks. It's a very family-friendly place, and so I spend time with my kids. And then I also surf. And as you know, IRPS is only a couple blocks from the beach.
Yeah.
So it's great to be able to get a class and a surf session in the same day, and maybe one or two if you're lucky.
Very nice.
So Laura, have you done any internships? If so, where?
I have. In between my first and second year, I was a research assistant and interned at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Jakarta, Indonesia. No relation to CSIS DC. So I helped code data on counterinsurgency in Aceh and did some research on females and politics throughout the region. So Matt, what is one thing you did not expect before coming to campus?
I did not expect to have such a good interaction with all of my classmates. I knew coming into the MAS program that I was going to be with, the quote-unquote executives. Some are part-time that work in local industries. Some are people that have been, like myself, working for a while before they came back to school. But I was not expecting to be able to intermingle and get to know the normal two-year program. I kind of had this preconceived notion of them being segmented, and they're not. And so I really enjoy being brought into the full IRPS mode, and for me, taking a break from my normal job, it's nice to be on a campus again and be stimulated intellectually by people that think differently than I do, but can intelligently defend their positions and broaden my mind. And so just the entire intermixing of and as well as core kind of camaraderie, it's just great, and I wasn't really expecting that. So today we're interested in learning more about you. Would you mind telling us some of your background?
My background is simple. I was born and raised in Bangkok in Thailand, and I came to the US for my graduate school. After getting my PhD in economics from University of Chicago, I joined IRPS, and I have been here ever since. It's almost 10 years.
And you teach economies in Southeast Asia. What do you think is the most valuable takeaway for students in that class?
You took my class as well, so I hope that you enjoy the class. So my approach to this class is a little bit unique. I think that the class is more about applying economics to understand the real world. And my approach to this class is from the perspective of comparative economic development. So as you know, Southeast Asia is the region with a lot of countries, 11 countries to be precise. And instead of talking about each country one by one, I usually go by topic. And that also allows me to pick the topic and pick example from countries in the region, and I can provide comparison and contrast across countries in this region. So with this strategy, I think it's a good strategy because it allows students to learn how to apply theories and frameworks in economics to understand the real economies. And that economy could be from Southeast Asia or from outside Southeast Asia. It doesn't matter because we use the same framework to study. But Southeast Asia is just a fantastic example to use for this application because there's so many countries, the region is so diverse, and the countries in the region are so different.
Most faculty at IRPS are known for having a strong research background. What projects are you currently working on?
My research agenda is at the intersection of finance and economic development. And right now, one of the research projects that I have been working on is on how to apply theories and concepts in corporate accounting and corporate finance to understand the behavior of households and household enterprises in developing countries. So when you look at modern financial theories, usually most of the theories in finance are developed with big corporations in developed country in mind. But these theories, many of them could be applied to understand the behavior of household in developing countries as well. And we can gain a lot of insights from this application and this exercise. For example, the paper that I just finished with my co-author is on how to look at risk and return of household enterprise in Thailand, and that's just one of the examples. Other project that we have done in the past, we look at how household deal with risk that they are facing or how they finance their business enterprise. That's just an example on what we are working on.
And what class are you teaching spring quarter?
In the spring quarter, I am going to teach two classes. One class is finance, which is the basic understanding of financial theory. This is one of the core classes at RPS. But the way we approach core classes at RPS is that it's not just about studying finance the way it is, but also how to use or apply what you learn in finance in the broader context. Because we are international relations school, we are different from school that offers straight MBA program. So the knowledge of finance that our students learn is not only applied to people who would go to work in private sector, but also people who would go to work in non-profit sector and public sector. So we view finance is a concept that is broader, is necessary for everyone, for everyday use and for future career, not only in private sector, but in other sector as well.
But how can students best prepare for the 21st century?
This is a tough question. And I would say that the world today is changing very fast, right? So in order to be successful in this changing world, you have to be equipped with what I call tools and conceptual framework, right? So once you have tools and conceptual framework, you can apply this tool and the framework into the changing environment, and you will never be outdated because you know how to attack the changing situation and environment. And this is what RPS curriculum is designed for, right? We teach you conceptual framework and tools, and we teach you how to apply this into the real world. So we are not going to teach you to remember history and remember what happened and try to project what will happen, but we're going to teach you how to use the tool to apply to this situation when it happened. And I think that's the concept of our curriculum.
Is it true that you are a coffee enthusiast?
The rumor is true. I like coffee, I like good coffee, but I also like stories behind coffee, both history and the economics and business behind coffee. So I enjoy both going to get good coffee at a coffee house, but at the same time, I enjoy talking to people in coffee industry to understand more about the economics and the business behind coffee industry. And I also enjoy reading story about coffee, history, development, and other things. I have a blog that have been maintained and developed with one of RPS alumni. And if you are good enough, you can find out where is that.
I'll search.
I am not going to advertise it online.
We thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us today, and we look forward to your future classes here.
You're welcome. I'm looking forward to have you in my class.